Welcome to OutToNav.com as we go through the best in video games 2015, and this one we have the best single moment that we've experienced in a video game in 2015. Tristan, I need to hear, what was the greatest moment in video games for you in 2015?
Well, jumping into Fallout 4 and Codsworth saying my name.
Master Tristan.
Master Tristan.
Is that what he's... And we talked about this on the block party because you guys were like, dude, you got to put your name in.
Yeah.
I put Chad in. Guess what? Nothing. No one says Master Chad. No one says nice to meet you, Chad.
Really sad.
So the
Not
first
a single
time
person.
First time saying my name was awesome. Then throughout the game, he'll still say it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just fun.
It's
I
pretty
can
neat.
see
it's
that.
pretty cool.
As
I
like
liked it a lot when he said my name. I think I texted everybody.
I
Like,
didn't
go
expect
get your
it.
name in.
It was very unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. Didn't happen for me. Well,
Yeah.
talking about like the worst moment in video games, right there. Yeah, saying the name. I can see like though is like anyone who had their name in their list of 10 million names, and unfortunately
Yeah.
Chad isn't one of them. Like it'd be cool. And I like that you could put in like stupid things too, like asshat or something like that, and they would say that. It just kind of like,
Wait, they say asshat, but they don't say Chad?
Yes, dude. How messed up
All
is
right,
that?
that can't
dude?
win.
That
You
ain't
can't win.
winning.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not winning. That's not a best.
I can't
moment.
win.
It's personal though for me.
It is a very
It's
personal moment. Another one that I liked a lot more than I thought I would because I played the beta of Star Wars Battlefront was getting to play as like Vader or Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
just
Like a
wanted to be
hero
guy.
or a villain.
Yeah, for me,
like,
I was
actually.
pumped for Star Wars Battlefront for the longest time, and then finally getting into it and finding the mode Heroes versus Villains, and
That word sucks.
well, it gives
Personal
you the
preference.
best chance of playing
Yes,
as
you get to
the
play as them.
characters.
Yeah.
And I check out the random 30 where I jumped in as Luke and I destroyed Boba Fett
At the last
Emperor,
second,
and-
dude, you
yeah.
won the match. Spoiler alert.
As we're ending the video, yeah.
Which was pretty awesome. But I think it all gets deflated when you like take down Vader, and instead of like dying, he kneels.
Takes a knee.
takes a
That's
knee,
the part
yeah.
that kills me the most.
It just takes you
And then they just
completely out of
disappear.
that like excitement. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude, I'm Luke
does
or I'm
deflate a little
Vader.
bit.
Like and you take them out, and instead of like falling over. I mean, how hard would it be to make someone fall over?
But that's not the point of this war. This is when you turn into Luke or you turn into Vader that first time, and that first moment was like, whoa, that is
You
awesome.
got the lightsaber.
It's that very first moment.
That's the
Pretty
moment. Yeah, I didn't feel that moment when I played it, and I just I think maybe it's because Han Solo.
I can tell you,
And like it wasn't exciting.
I can
at
tell you a
all.
moment I know you felt because I was there with you. Is that when you won your first match in Splatoon, when the timer went down to like 1 second, it was down to 5 seconds, and you knew you were going to win that match on your own.
And whether it was you or not, just seeing that it was like 47.8 to 47.9.
Just looking at the map and knowing,
and you
yes,
won, and you're like, I put down that ink right there. It was me.
that was my
And,
0.2%.
Like, dude, you were like that for because you're looking at it, you're like, holy, dude, I gotta get the ink down. That was like a moment where you're just like, you're sweating, you're excited, dude, and you're like,
Because you look at the map and you're like, I know I got it. It's in the bag. And then it comes up and it's like 75-35. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, how did I lose that, right? Like, or it's just at 0.1%, and you're just like, it's like the best feeling in the world.
it was like you.
It was
did
one of my favorite feelings all year was Splatoon
and
doing that.
it wasn't just once. It happened several times. Like as you're
It
playing,
happened, yeah.
like,
It continuously happens because the matches are so close and everybody's so good. It's just really neat.
And in most times you're playing a shooter or a game like that, like you don't really feel that. You don't unless you're on kill cam in one of the games, like as the final kill. You don't. But in that game, it just made it like there was no final kill cam. There was no final paint lane cam. Like it was like, dude, you were part of that 1%.
All
or
4 members
0.1%.
of that winning team are the person in their house. Were like, I did it. I'm the one that won that. That's like crazy that everybody felt like they were the winner, even
Yeah.
if they weren't.
Yeah, you could totally feel that. Another awesome moment in video games this year for me was Mortal Kombat X when you did the fatality with
Casey Cage.
Casey Cage, thank you, dude. And she did the selfie cam.
So good.
And like you could see Twitter feeds and stuff down there from like Goro and like all
Yeah.
sorts of weird stuff. But it was just such a funny and awesome moment. Like it was just a fatality that just took me back to like just amazing like.
It was
cool-
pure Mortal Kombat, and it's like,
yeah, dude. And like she's up there and like the throat, like the jaw, like busted out, holding up a guy's head, dude. It was just. For me, it was one of the coolest moments in like video games this year, just to see that.
It's really
But
good.
they actually did something like that because selfies are like fucking going out of control right now, dude.
Yeah, no, it was like perfectly timely and great. It was
Yeah.
probably one of the best
She could
fatalities
use
in
a
Mortal
selfie
Kombat.
stick, probably.
Well, I mean, technically, she could have pulled out a baton and
Yeah.
and then had that up there, but she didn't need to, dude. She's got long arms.
A late addition is Rainbow Six, I think. There's like the first time you put a breach on a wall and you blow it open and you rush in there and grab a hostage is a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
Just watching the destruction, watching the wall break down, watching everything kind of like come down behind you. I could almost also go with that as the suicide bomber when they hit you.
The first time you get hit by a suicide
or the first time
bomber.
you see them come at you and you're like, oh fuck.
That feeling of
Yeah.
like, dude, what's gonna happen?
This is
next?
it. I'm gonna
I
lose. I'm
think you
dead.
have some time to run away, but you don't.
Yeah,
you're
you,
like,
you
I'm
never
gonna
do.
make it.
Yeah, and then just
Or
watching
the
them hit
moment
you.
where you do survive it, where
Yes, and it's just you're just like, how did I do this? And like the entire room is like in shambles, and you're alive.
yeah, you can see like the toilet upstairs and like the blinking lights, and when you just hopped over a counter and the counter's disintegrated. And
Yeah.
you're like
You have 3 hit points left and 22 terrorists to kill, and you're like, how the fuck am I gonna do this?
that is a good one.
It's
eh?
possible to do it too.
Yeah,
It is. I
Tristan,
witnessed-
we
I
watched
witnessed.
Tristan do it. We
Big
watched,
Papa Tree took it down, dude. The new John McClane.
Yeah, that was
Witcher
right.
3 had some good ones. There was a without too many spoilers, and I feel like I would spoiler it. Like last year we had Brill Cream, and it was another like moment.
Yeah,
in
we
video
don't want to talk
games
about
where-
real creams though.
Yeah, like you didn't want to talk about it because it was such a good experience, and like this is another one where like you do a quest line in Witcher 3, and when you see it, it's like kind of controversial, but not. I don't even know if you guys made it to this quest line.
I didn't
where it's
make it
like
to this.
Guy is having issues with a baby, and like you have to help him make choices on this thing, and like the choices that you make can either lead to you getting into like one of the toughest fights you'll have in the game, or seeing like doing something that you wouldn't like probably consciously make this the decision in real life to do.
Oh my god, I'm
And
putting
it's-
2 and 2 together, and this is intense.
It's like yeah, it's really hard to describe like without giving away spoilers because it's such an awesome quest line, but it has to do with the Red Baron quest line, and if you're just engaged in that or you kind of put it to the side, get on that thing and do it. But it was one of the toughest choices I made in the game, and probably one of the coolest moments I've had. But without explaining it, it's hard to defend it because I can't really go into.
I get what you're saying, and it sounds really cool.
Details.
Like we couldn't explain Brill Cream last year, but we all were like, yeah,
It was
makes sense. when
really
you see it.
vocally like, oh my gosh, you got to do it because it's hilarious and awesome and
Yeah.
like, amazing. But the hilarity isn't there. It's just more of like a moral choice and like kind of like what happens, and maybe you.
It just makes you feel something when you're
Yeah,
done with
you're
it.
like,
Either
ooh.
way. Ooh, okay. Man, there's so many good
Shit,
ones this year. Last year I felt was not as good as this.
No, dude. Like this year, I think we have like a good list of things that we can whittle down.
Tristan
right
has the
now.
Batmobile, which was a pretty good feeling.
Jumping
Getting
in it
shot,
for the
getting
first
shot
time.
out of the Batmobile for the first time is pretty cool.
Yeah.
and going into your hang glider.
But I don't think it's as good as the rest of the stuff
No.
that we have right now.
So where are we at here, man? I'm high on the Witcher stuff. for
I'm
sure.
high on the Splatoon thing. That was just, I just remember your face. I remember my face when I first did it. It's just like, even now,
It's a happy-go-lucky thing too, man.
it's just
Like,
such a great moment when you don't get that in a lot of games, let alone a shooter in a Nintendo game. Like,
and it's a moment that is one moment, but you can relive that moment many times in like the history of playing that game. And
yeah.
I think that's kind of what stands out for me is like it's like in The Witcher you make that choice and it's a moment and it comes and passes, but in like Splatoon, like almost like every other game you're playing in that thing, like oh my gosh, that was me.
I
Like,
know.
you're having that, and it doesn't get old. It gets better and better because you're just like high fiving yourself, dude.
It's
and,
a
like,
raw
just-
comparison between that feeling and the Rainbow Six one, and I think the Splatoon one is much more. It's just like this. It just feels much better. It's more natural and it's awesome. And
I just remember how
I have
happy I was.
yeah, I have a hard time going against Splatoon because I just wanted I just felt so good when that happened.
And I think Amy would agree too because I seen her when she was playing it, and like she looked over and she like, I got that. Did you see? I got the ink down. I did it. I killed it. And I was like, well, I thought I did.
Yeah.
And it's just like that cool moment where like you do realize like everyone across the world right now that you're playing with in this match probably
Had that
felt
same exact moment.
felt like they just did that too, and they probably just like ran up and high fived their mom, and she's just like, all right, good job.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Tristan, man, I know you're high on the Batmobile.
Yeah, and I had probably more personal experiences with Codsworth saying my name and Batmobile, and what was the other one I said? Luke Skywalker and Star Wars.
Yeah, man, gosh. I'm going with Splatoon.
I have to go with Splatoon.
It was such a good and you unfortunately
I'll agree with you,
You
guys,
know.
even though
Your Codsworth, I know you
can't-
wanted
I can't-
that bad.
I can't in good faith, pick Codsworth because the asshole didn't say my name. Sorry
Nice.
about that, but
Probably did say asshole though.
yeah, he totally did. I should have named myself that, and I would have been good, dude. But
Great job,
I'm gonna
parents.
I'm gonna go with Splatoon.
I'm going with
the,
Splatoon.
The victory in
Let's do
Splatoon,
Splatoon.
is the best moment in video games. So the AlexandNav.com best moment in video games for 2015, the victory, pulling out the victory for your team in Splatoon, even though you may not have done it. just the feeling that
You
you
did
did
it.
it every
I did it.
single time.
I did it.
Yeah.
It was
High
my vote
five,
that made
Ava.
us win this.